Hundreds of Californians rallied at the state capitol.
An emotional pleas for help in Sacramento.
Another day without a budget.
The state would be forced to issue IOUs.
Critics say the plan is too expensive. Protesters say quite the opposite. They say the plan is not only affordable, but it would save the state billions of dollars.
How much more? How much more do you want? We could only go so far before it breaks.
The Bay Area Council began this process, but this isn't the Bay Area Council's constitutional convention. This is a constitutional convention for the people of California, and many groups from both sides of the political aisle, representing many interests, are joining together now to create a constitutional convention to bring back a quality state government.
Our roads are breaking down. You watch the news, it says many of our bridges are unsafe. Here in Sacramento, our levee system needs repairing, or we're in danger of massive flooding, and we need water to avoid the droughts. I mean, isn't this something the state government is supposed to fix?
We need to re-examine this relationship, and we need reform, and we need a new way of working together. It's time for a change. There is no alignment of revenue and responsibility, and without that alignment, county governments are completely dependent upon the state, and when the state is in dysfunction, counties cannot function well.
I don't think our government is up to today's challenges. If they're not going to fix things, then we need to change the way the government operates.
Making sure my kids have a good education is very important to me. I've learned that without a solid education, getting a good paying job is impossible. But with the current budget crisis, all the politicians want to do is cut my kids' education. Of course they don't want to cut the commissions and the boards that are the retirement golden parachutes and just create more bureaucracy.
We're facing right now the first net year-to-year reduction in funding for the public schools since the Great Depression. In fact, from 1929 to 1935, the funding on a per-pupil basis dropped by 25%. We're about to see in 1 year a 16% drop in funding for the schools. The system is broken.
It's irresponsible. Instead of figuring out a way to build more schools, they're trying to close them.
And the Constitutional Convention quite possibly may be able to address that in a more fundamental way than our current political system can do.
I mean, it's the same thing every June. They miss the deadline, and it takes months and months and months of political bickering and gridlock to get anything done.
And it is 3 months late because both of the parties stayed in their ideological corners and refused to come out. That is why the budget took so long. And that is why we don't have health care reform yet. And that is why we also don't have a long-term water plan yet. There are very important things that need to be addressed and taken care of, and they can't get it done.
A rare sight in the California state capitol last night. The legislature locked down, the leaders forcing lawmakers to come up with a budget plan or a place to sleep.
Meanwhile, Californians suffer. Their delays just make everything cost more, which means more taxes. And now they're issuing IOUs? How do you cash an IOU?
The only way to get at a real workable fix is to convene a constitutional convention and address all these issues, then come back to the voters with a comprehensive solution that is pragmatic, but that is a real solution. When I first read some op-eds about the California Constitutional Convention, I thought, this idea is crazy. But it caused me to think about it. And when you look at all of the problems we have, you realize that one fix won't do it. We need to fix all of these problems for our community so that we can prosper and we can have our rightful place in California society.
The purpose of the Constitutional Convention is to achieve major reforms for California. And we strongly believe that the only viable way to achieve these major reforms as fast as possible is through a constitutional convention. If we succeed, we can allow the California dream to once again be a beacon for the rest of the world.